GamePro, reading GamePro and being like, oh my god, I have to get this game, and then getting it and being disappointed. But that's besides the point. It's one of those things where, like, I had someone who was rather young make some rude comments, which I blocked, about a game that came out, like way before he was born, like 10 years before he was born. I'm not saying that age makes something better, but he made all these speculations about things that were just outlandish, and I was not a fan. I'll just say that outright. I remember playing games on PC, and I remember being so excited to play, like, freaking Command & Conquer 1, when it was on PC, and I remember playing Dune on PC, like, all these games, but I will make speculations, but that's because I lived through most of it. I hate the Wikipedia reading people, or the people who go on GameFAQs for 5 minutes. Damn it. And suddenly they feel like they're some entitled, like, master of video games. Like, most people don't realize a few things, like, here's a good one. TurboGrafx was pretty much a failure when it launched. That was just the way it was. It was a failure. They had a bad release date, they had a bad release location, and almost nobody showed up for it. Except for a few, like, die-hard new technology video game fans. And some, obviously things like GamePro Press and stuff. But then there are people who forget about, like, who don't remember these moments or reading these articles about it, and suddenly, like, they're the expert on, like, this release or whatever, and I hate that. Like, honestly, like, get over yourself. Like, I don't know. Like, the other thing is that, like, there's a few things in video games I remember quite clearly. I'm not going to say, like, I don't remember when exact dates games were released. I mean, I don't memorize all these facts because it really doesn't matter to me when a game is released. It's more if it's good or if it sucks. But, I don't know. A lot of people will claim that, oh, this game came out first, therefore this game's a ripoff. Well, that's not always the case. But I don't know. There's a lot of things which I'm trying not to get into specifics to because I don't want to, start a flame war about stuff. But I don't know. If you're gonna comment, at least, like, I don't care about your facts. Like, I say stuff on the fly, and if it happens to be incorrect, oh well. I can't. Like, I'm not going to re-record the game because I said something that might be an off step. Like, get over yourself. And, I really hate these birds. But, I don't know, I'm not... Basically, what it boils down to is I have little to no interest in making... Okay, you're probably wondering why the video cut out. The biggest problem is that, for some reason, after 4 minutes and a few seconds in this video, it decides to stop working. I have no idea why. It won't load it, and my computer keeps having issues with it, and has basically been restarting, having problems. I ran disk scans, I ran all sorts of stuff to try to fix the problem. I'm worried that possibly my motherboard or hard drive or my video card is not working properly, or even my RAM, because I keep getting strange errors. So, yeah, basically the rest of this video is unprocessable. It's lost, pretty much. I tried recording the video on the fly to see if I could record, it outside of its normal video state, but for some reason it says that basically I have a, you know, like 4 gigabyte video file, but it actually is only about 2 gigabytes. And the first video turned out fine. There's no skips or errors, but for some reason in the middle of saving this one, it decided not to work. And this actually might be a root of all my problems because I keep trying to process this video and it has problems. So yeah, I'm kind of pissed that it happened because I love this LP, and then basically, I mean, you don't miss much. It's me wandering around the dungeon and complaining about stuff, but there's a small bit where we go to a lighthouse, and I'm not sure how much the next video has into it, but I'll look at it and see how far it is. I briefly looked at it, but that was to check it for continuity, and it wasn't making any sense, and then I realized that the video is 4 minutes long, and that was after it processed. So basically it only processes 4 minutes of the video, and it won't play past 4 minutes of the video. So I still have another 11 minutes unaccounted for, and I have no idea why. For some reason it just didn't save properly, and it's probably because the plugs here don't have proper grounding, and it sucks to use anything with my computer, and it was storming at the time I did this. So apparently the storms did win and destroyed a piece of my video. Yay. The other thing, I had reviewed the video just to look through to see if there were any more glitches or bugs, and I looked back through the LP to see if there were any more problems, and I didn't find any right out. I checked the times. Most of the times were correct, so it wasn't a big deal. I made sure I had both halves of the video, and frankly, what I was going to complain about is that, to put it in a short sense, is that some people assume that because we're on YouTube that suddenly we can become friends, and that because since they found me and they decided to message me, that instantly means that I'll jump at the chance to promote them, and that I'll jump at the chance to do anything for them, and that I will like tolerate their rudeness, and especially when it's from someone who wasn't even born in like the dawn of video games era. And you know, I mean, I can remember when Nintendo was released. I can remember when Sega Genesis was released. I can remember TurboGrafx. I even remember going to the store during Christmas and looking at a Duo. But I've said all this kind of stuff before. But if you didn't live through the era, it's hard to explain it to other people. A lot of things in history get truncated, especially about video games. And you can't just say that because a Wikipedia article said it, or because a GameFAQs article said this, that makes you instantly right. I can develop sources for just about anything. I could have someone say that, you know, Nintendo, you know, only came out with X number of games, even though there are other games, but I can prove it because somebody wrote on a blog that's minorly respected, and that instantly makes me right. That's not even the case. Like, I don't just promote you and assume what you say is correct at all. Usually I go look it up. That's the first thing I do, and I find multiple sources. And I mean, yes, the internet has a problem with there's a lot of mistruths, but anyway, I was basically frustrated at it because I got about 8 or 9 messages across a day that were just, they were annoying personal messages. And I mean, right now, considering it's actually been like 2 weeks since I finished this LP, which is sad to say I'm processing it 2 weeks later, but it's I've been getting spammed by these like sponsor gamer groups and all this other stuff and this view copyright info, and I'm kind of annoyed by all of it because it's so frustrating, because most of it's incorrect information and most of it's just there to piss me off. And then to have someone who's obviously not trolling, like, I don't know if you understand that to get friends you meet because of a social network or because of some sort of social interaction or mutual respect. You don't make friends with someone by outright coming at them and saying things that they say are wrong. That's that's not how you make friends. It's how you make enemies. And it really makes me angry because you can't say like, "Oh, I want to be your friend. And by the way, what you said in this video at blah 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 time is wrong." I don't care. If you think it's wrong, good for you. Here's a cookie. I mean, I can point a million videos on YouTube that have things wrong with them, or things that like piss me off. But 9 times out of 10, I don't comment because I don't care enough to comment about it. If they're wrong, they can just sit in it. And most of the time, someone's already said it. I don't care enough, and I really won't respond or respond well to people that do that. And I'm not saying like, oh, don't comment because I might take it as rude. I'm just saying that if you're going to comment, make sure that it's not something that could be easily construed as rude. And don't think that you have some superior knowledge and that all must bow before your superior knowledge. And it's more frustrating to deal with people like that. I have my opinions about some things in video games. I have things that I know about certain things in video games. I worked for a video game store for like 2 years and pretty much spent almost all of my life playing video games or in and out of video game stores. I mean, that's just a fact. I've grown up around this, and I grew up in arcades. I grew up with consoles. I mean, I can say that like 40 to 50% of my childhood was playing PC games, console games, arcade games, like nonstop. On weekends, I wasn't like a person like to go out and go just hang out with people or go for a bike ride. No, I'd be in an arcade, and from like 1 o'clock in the afternoon until like 10 o'clock at night, I would go out to the arcade and play games all day. And I would do this all the time. And when I was younger, my mom used to go to the bars, and she used to take me with her, and I would go and play whatever video games were at the bar. I mean, I loved playing Shuffle Puck, and I loved playing Miss Pac-Man, and I remember there was a Rastan arcade game. There was a Splatterhouse one at one. Like, these kind of things I grew up with. And if you didn't grow up with it and you weren't surrounded by each new technology as it comes, like, you have less of a right to comment. It's very much like people nowadays who are like in their 20s and they're like talking to World War II veterans that like stormed into Germany and were like, and the 20-year-old was like, oh no, there was no Holocaust. That was all made up. And even though the World War II person saw it with their very eyes, they make this deal like, oh no, I know it's not because this person said this. Yeah, I'm not saying I'm like some World War II veteran and I know I worked in the industry. I'm just saying that I was surrounded by these video games and I knew a lot about them. And I had a lot of friends who knew a lot about them. And it's hard when you jump in and attack someone about something that you don't have as much clue about. That's pretty much all I can say about that is don't comment on things that you're going to look foolish on. I mean, it's kind of like watch your mouth before you speak kind of thing. I don't know. I mean, I assume it was just someone who's immature and sophomoric, but it's those kind of frustrating things that I had to vent out, and it still kind of bothers me now because right now my internet's down and this video isn't processing and it's not a happy day. But I don't know. The other thing is I don't expect people to promote me. I don't expect other people, or I don't expect other people to expect me to promote them unless I have some sort of vested interest in you, or I like your videos, or I think that you need, more attention, or whatever. And I'll ask someone, because that's the polite thing to do. Be like, can I post a link to your page on my page? Okay, that's fine. I sent messages to all sorts of people about that, and some people said no, and some people said yes. So I'm fine with that. That's mutual communication. But now that I've made that connection, I don't assume that I can instantly talk to them about anything. I don't assume that instantly they're my, best friend, and I have like every right to ask them everything about their personal life. No. Like I don't know. I can't see it and I can't imagine it and I don't understand it. So if you have videos that you want to get promoted, you don't just throw them on to people and tell them like, "Hey, promote my video. It's better than yours." No. I won't pay attention to you. In fact, I'll probably garner you less attention and I'll probably just be like other LPers like Deceased Crab who will just delete people or flag them as spam. I don't like doing that, but if it really is annoying, then I will. Um, but yeah, other than that, I'm still pissed that this video didn't process, so I put up this. It's the best I can do with it. I can't even salvage individual screenshots or anything of it. I tried all sorts of different ways because I figured if I could isolate the sound and I could use screenshots, I could at least low frame rate it to, like only like 5 frames a second or something, but I can't even do base screenshots because it's all screwed up. But hopefully this doesn't continue, because if it continues, I'm just going to figure out what's wrong with my computer and then restart doing LPs. Any LPs that get damaged along the way, I'll just delete them and that's it. And then, I have such a backlog. But I'm rambling. Basically, I need to get my computer fixed. It doesn't stop me from LPing at the moment. It's just a minor nuisance. I'm sorry that there's no other half of this video, so don't be surprised if it jumps. The other thing is, don't be annoying, because nobody likes annoying people. Not just me. Nobody likes annoying people. But that's pretty much all for this episode of Broken Swordcraft Story. See you later.